What's up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about how pro gamers come back in the game of Brood War. Now, one of the happy accidents of this game is this love-hate relationship with the unit design, right? We all know how frustrating it is to have a pack of goons try to go down a ramp only to have half of them sort of derp out at every corner of your base, right? Or maybe you've tried to, surround your opponent's units and all of a sudden your Zerglings just freeze up and God forbid you have to press stop to unfreeze them, right? It's 2025. We just expect units to be silky smooth. We expect the pathfinding to be smart, right? We just want our units to do exactly what we want them to do, right? And these are all reasonable expectations and things to have in a game, right? But what is often overlooked, especially by game designers, is when you make the games have units that are smarter and smarter and smarter, the skill ceiling as it pertains to the interactions between the units gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So what I want us to really focus on in this game is how this kind of happy accident enables pro gamers to not only leverage the skill ceiling, but also decide to allocate their attention towards these things so that they can overcome insurmountable odds, right? And so today we're going to be talking about Reign versus Royal, ASL Season 17, Round of 24. I'm not going to go over the entire game as usual. We're about 6 minutes in, so I'll just kind of give some context. But basically what happened is Reign opens a very, very standard, gateway, nexus, 2-gate ob opener, whereas Royal is going for a 1-base, 2-factory all-in push. Now, the key point here is Reign did not know that he was up against this all-in until Royal's units showed up at his front door, okay? 99.9% of the time, this is a death sentence for Protoss, right? Most of the time, even for some of you viewers or even myself, when we see this, there's often a tendency to just kind of YOLO attack into the units, have all your goons blow up, you leave the game, maybe you watch the replay, and maybe you just kind of think to yourself, oh, maybe I should have, selected a different build order, or maybe I should have, executed something better, right? And oftentimes we don't really think about the broad solution space to actually come back from these kinds of situations. And even though you're going to lose 99.9% of the time, what differentiates a pro gamer from just, a casual is that they practice these even if they're going to lose 99.9% of the time, okay? So let's get into this. Royal has, tanks, he has vultures, he has marines right in front of the front door, whereas Reign only has dragoons, okay? One thing I want us to pay attention to is the positioning of the dragoons in this entire game, okay? When your backs are up against the wall facing a Terran push, time is your most valuable resource. You do not want to fight until the very last second possible, okay? Now, in order to buy that time, the goons must stay one range outside of the tanks, okay? And let me kind of break this down a little bit further, right? Anytime you have goons that can get free shots or clean shots, I should say, on the tanks, that is a Protoss victory because 8 shots will destroy a tank, tanks will take full damage from them, and tanks are also the primary DPS of the Terran army, okay? However, anytime the Terran player with their tanks can hit a goon, while the goons fire vultures, marines, mines, or SCVs, that is a Terran victory. Now, Protoss can also have another victory in this situation, and this is exactly what Reign is going to abuse. Because the vultures and the marines serve as body bags or body shields, right? And they get outranged by the goons. If the vultures and the marines move in front of the tanks, they are now in range of the goons, right? So because of the jankiness and the clunkiness of this game, oftentimes your units kind of derp forward, and when they derp forward, that's an opportunity. And so every single shot matters in this kind of situation, okay? So let's roll the tape. He's facing this. He moves forward. Again, why does he move forward? He moves forward so that he can get that free shot on those Marines, right? However, he's now facing siege mode. Now, once the siege mode is up, now he has to back up even further. Again, he's one range outside of now the sieged tank, right? He now moves his probes back home, right? He doesn't immediately give up. He doesn't send all of his units all the way back forward. He's being very tenacious. He's scanning for opportunities. He's scanning. And what does he find? He finds a tank that is in range of the high ground, right? And now he's able to snipe that off. And when he snipes that off, he now cuts Terran's DPS by 33%. And now notice what he also does. While his goons are being hit on the high ground, there's now missed shot opportunity, right? Even though there's a little bit of a, splash nonetheless. And having that missed shot is very important because now it reduces Terran's DPS, which now gives him an opportunity to trade at the front door. Right, and once he loses that opportunity, while everything gets into place, he now backs back up, right? And notice this important feature of a Terran push. Royal is stuck on 2 factories, right? Which means he must choose between reinforcing fast vultures or slow tanks, right? Fast vultures will help the push stay alive, whereas tanks will, give it more firepower, right? And so every time you can take out one tank, that's a really, really big deal for Protoss. And as he puts up more gateways, he can also outproduce his opponent as well, right? So notice all the while he's doing this, he's teching to Dark Templars, and that's a smart choice. Oftentimes you can also go Reavers because you can now use your gas bank on the Dark Templars, upgrade speed for Zealots, and the rest of your gateways will make Zealots that'll be very critical for getting out of this push, okay? And the most important thing is, watch this here. The second Royal moves forward with one tank, Rain hops on it, and he runs back forward, right? And this is the most important thing. All throughout this hectic engagement, while he's fighting for his tournament life, he finds either free shots on vultures, marines, tanks, turrets, or he finds effective trades against the tanks, right? And because he's doing this, he's able to buy time for now these Dark Templars, right? Not to mention, once he has shuttles in play, he can now start doing cute things like shuttle bombs, right? So slowly as Royal advances into his base, that's exactly what we're going to see here, right? He now has speed upgrades. He's going to swing around looking for opportunities with this Dark Templar drop, right? And soon we're going to start seeing, him trying to use some shuttle bombs here, right? And this is also a great way to try to get some value as well because tanks will, fire themselves. He's also sending the Zealots forward to try to do some mine drags, although it's not quite successful. Or he does still find a fair amount of damage, right? He still kills at least one tank and damages another one. And back at Royal's base, he also just starts sniping down turrets. He's attacking the production. Why is he attacking the production? Because Rain has 4 or 5 gateways back at home, which is 2.5 times X the production of Terran. Now it's going to be even more because now he forced a liftoff, right? And even though he can't kill the factory, disabling them is going to make it so much easier for him to actually bust out when it's time to go. And notice the genius of Rain. Once the turrets are up to deny the effectiveness of the DTs, right? Watch exactly what he does with his DTs, right? He's going to repair, turrets up, he backs up, boom. He blocks the ramp because Royal doesn't have a scanner, which means he has to build another turret, which is, again, precious minerals, in order to get out, right? And why is this so important? Because Rain is playing chess. He's like Magnus Carlsen. He's thinking 50,000 steps ahead, right? Because he knows that if he slows down production or if he blocks production from getting to his base, then he can bust out because his production is so much greater. And he also has speed upgrades to help him to maneuver in these situations. So let's see exactly what he does. He's going to move forward. He tries to get some mine drags going. Every time he goes, what does he target fire? He target fires the tanks, right? Because again, the tanks are the primary damage. What did I say in the beginning? I said that when the Protoss player can get clean shots on the tanks, it is a Protoss victory because of the way production works, right? And he got so close to losing here, right? But look, now that he has defender's advantages, Zealots are just kind of streaming right outside of his base. He's now able to just break out of the base because Royal can't reinforce. right? And remember, in this game, Royal was all in, right? And Rain had a Nexus, so his workers are going to be so much greater, right? He has super saturated mineral line over there, so when he goes out and he expands, he's actually going to be probably ahead, right? So after all of this, right, Rain focused all of his attention towards finding every possible opportunity he can get against an ASL level player, not an ASL level, an ASL champion. And he was still able to find the mistakes and bust out of a situation, overcoming insurmountable odds. And I just want all of us to really appreciate that this happy accident of a game design allowed Rain to just do all these little things in order to come back. And this is exactly what makes this game so great and so exciting, because you never know what can happen, right? Because there's so many things that he can gain value from. And, oftentimes we think that when we're playing the game against our opponents are always controlling perfectly, right? And that's not true at all. Look, if ASL champion Royal is making these mistakes, I absolutely guarantee you, at whatever level you're playing, when you're facing that Terran push, they will always make mistakes. So you have to allocate your attention, you have to focus and try to find those, even if you're going to lose 99% of the time. And I guarantee you that if you focus on that over and over and over, you're going to become a much better player. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think, and see you guys next time.